ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. At the onset, let me just start with few words in English, and I think given the demographics of the congregation, I'll switch to Punjabi immediately. To our neighbors and fellow Americans here, I'll spend 5 minutes on what is Guru Nanak to Sikhs according to our scripture. Because otherwise, if you Google anyone these days, that's what most people do. Nobody goes to libraries anymore. You're gonna get all kinds of answers, including how even our current president is Nazi somehow. So there are lots of lunatics out there, and I want to keep things real. What do we know about Guru Nanak in Guru Granth Sahib? And first thing, and this might be surprise to a lot of even Sikhs, number one thing I want to share with you about Guru Nanak is he did not come into this world to start a religion. There is no statement like that in Guru Granth Sahib, which is our scriptural tradition, which we call our Guru. So what does it say? Why did Guru Nanak come into this world? And very clearly it says, Guru Nanak came into this world, for those of you looking for references in Satta Balwant's War, and the line is, Nanak Raj Chalaya, Sach Kot Satani Neev De. Guru Nanak came into this world to start a new kind of a rule. Raj is indigenous word. It can mean any number of things. At minimum, it means governance. How do you deal with political life? How do you deal with social life? How do you deal with life, period? That's the governance. And from it goes all the way to even a nation state, like the ideas of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, whose birthday was a couple of days ago. So at minimum, it means governance, which means active participation in life. And Guru Granth Sahib says, Guru Nanak came into this world, on this earth, to start a new way to live a life, new governance system, whose foundation was truth, and on that, he established a fort. Now, look at the vocabulary, how political it is, and it is political on purpose, because it sets up the stage. You know, when people say they don't understand Sikhs, they're right, because we don't fit into the Western models of religion. We don't fit into the Eastern models of mysticisms or, ideological theories or other philosophical systems of China and Japan. Because we don't fit into any of the systems, people misunderstand us. They misunderstand Guru Nanak. He is not what the Western tradition calls prophet, and he's not what the Eastern mysticism calls, like the enlightened one or the avatarhoods. He is a different man. He starts with a different paradigm. He does not play with the words or the ideologies available at his time. And he in fact presents a new idea, and his idea was, you can believe, it's like Thomas Jefferson in this country. He says, whether your neighbor believes in one God or three God or no God, who gives a hoot? I'm paraphrasing a bit. What matters is, what do you do with your divinity? And this is where Guru Nanak Sahib comes, according to Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Nanak of Guru Granth Sahib is very, very different. He's a very dangerous man. He writes himself. He says, I didn't even know what I was doing until the divine, Ikowankar, which is loosely translated as God, but it is not an accurate translation, because God is a Judeo-Christian heritage only. There are other ideas of God. It is not a patriarchal God in Sikhi, for example. In fact, it's Ikowankar. This is the starting point of Guru Nanak's message. Ikowankar is oneness. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I call that the idea of the Force. It is not visible. It operates in each one of us. Nobody has copyright on it, and it's entirely up to you how you utilize this potential, which basically means he's saying, you all are very divine. There are 7.2 billion people on this earth, and Guru Nanak Sahib says every single one living on this earth is divine. The choice is yours. You can remain divine, or you can become very devilish. So devil for us, evil for us, according to Guru Nanak, is the perversion of mind. Now just imagine this much. And I'm going to get into what this means, because he ends up creating a new worldview. And nobody understood his worldview. People used to call him names. They used to cuss at him. They used to throw him in jail. Because people did not understand him. because the powers of the time, whether they were religious powers or political powers, they were threatened by him because he shook up the superstructures of whatever the power centers were. Now, so I know this is not probably fashionable to say in a gathering where there are people of other faiths and tradition, but Guru Nanak is not interested in making everyone a Sikh. He is interested in making everyone feel their own worth. And he writes like that. He says, the only question is, do you know your own worth? Those who know their own worth, they cannot remain slaves on this earth. There is mental slavery, there's physical slavery, there's economic slavery. And in America, we are having those discussions too. Whether it is the economic disparity, or whether it is Black Lives Matter, whatever it might be, the question is, are you ready to recognize your own worth? And those who recognize their own worth, they become revolutionary in nature. So Guru Nanak's system, and I'll call it system, and I'm going to quickly switch into Punjabi to address the larger audience. But to our fellow Americans, all I want you to know is, Guru Nanak is no teddy bear. Don't go by the popular images. He is very much about engagement of life, which means what kind of economic policy should exist. How do I live at home? How do I talk to people at home? How do I deal with the political realities of the time? How do I talk to the intellectuals of the time? That's what Guru Nanak was about. Punjabi 'ਚ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂ